Hi readers, Prost. Today is typically book haul day, and we're doing a book haul, but I'm going to do something a little bit different this day. I'm in a reading slump. I've got a book right now that is really good, but I keep putting it down. So it's me. I don't know what the problem is. It also might be that the book is a little too much like the movie. I'm talking about Rosemary's Baby. I mean, it's spot on. But I don't put books down, typically. So I don't know what kind of slump I'm in. I don't know how I'll get out of it. But I thought that this would be fun and different. And if you guys like it, we could maybe do more down the road. But if not, I'm going to like it. So when I first moved to the town I lived in now, and I had to do the math on it, it's been 17 years. I cannot believe it. This is the longest I've ever lived in one town in my life. Anywho, I still can't believe that math is accurate. Anywho, when I first moved to this town, I ate out almost every meal, and I tried every restaurant that was around at that time. And then after a while, I got tired of it, and I thought, you know what? I could do better at home. And so I taught myself, along with some books and a video course through Ruby.com, Rouxbe.com, and I taught myself techniques and how to cook. And I did great at that for years and years and years, and then came 2020. I closed on this house on March 9th of 2020, and the next week I took off work to unpack everything. And that took a long time. I got all the boxes out the first week, but you know, moving. It takes a long time to really get settled and get everything set up. And during that time, I lost my cooking mojo. At the end of the day, also COVID was going on, so work was a shit show. It was so much stress, and at the end of the day, I would just come home and I just did not want to cook. I saw all these videos about people now baking bread. I didn't bake any bread. I didn't cook hardly anything during COVID. And I have been trying since then to get my mojo back. But it's been 4 years and I've not been 100% successful. One thing I do know about me is if I'm tired and I don't want to, I will make crap food. But I need to get past that. Anywho, so at work, I have access to television, and usually I keep it on BBC because it's important to know about breaking news when it happens in my job. And like everything breaking, like Tina Turner dying, not related to my job, but anything breaking always seems to come out on BBC first. But every once in a while I get a little burnout from the news, and so I switch it up to, well, lately it's been Food Network. And that's how we've ended up doing a cookbook haul. Drummond was on the other day, and she was making stuff that looked really, really good. And so I went online to Barnes & Noble, and I ordered 3 cookbooks. No problem. Went about my day, went back later to check my email, and my order had been canceled. And I was aghast. I was like, what do you mean my order's canceled? I was pissed. So I went online to Amazon and I bought those 3 cookbooks and more. On the way home, I was still mad about my order being canceled. And then I couldn't find anything online that Barnes & Noble had at my local Barnes & Noble. That's when I found out. So I stopped by the Barnes & Noble because I was buying a damn cookbook that day. I was not buying a cookbook that day. Barnes & Noble's had been closed because of a rupture or water pipe burst, something like that, and it caused damage to the store. They were still closed. Anywho, so that's how we ended up doing this cookbook haul. So when I went on to Amazon, I bought the 3 I wanted and more. I have 3 more that haven't arrived yet. I'm out of control. I also have 2 in this pile that I did not buy as part of this book haul, but they are recent purchases, and they fit in with the theme for this week, which is Hurricane Helene relief efforts. So I'll talk about them in a minute. One thing I should definitely point out, I didn't need any damn one of these. I have hundreds of cookbooks and all cover the same kind of meals that are covered in these, but I wanted them and so I have them. So, let me take a little bit of drink here first. I pre-ordered this one so that it would arrive on pub date. This is Jose Andres' Zatinya. This is delicious Mediterranean dishes from Greece, Turkey, and Lebanon. I am a huge fan of Middle Eastern, Afghan, Persian, Mediterranean food, and I have more than a few Mediterranean or Middle Eastern or Afghan or Persian cookbooks. I did not need this. However, I wanted it. And I do like to support Jose Andres. His World Central Kitchen is out right now in Western North Carolina feeding people meals. So that is extremely important to me. He and his team, or his team goes to places all over the world wherever there's disaster and they need relief. Back to the hurricane real quick. I have put in both my previous post description boxes this week a link to a list of organizations that the NC Symphony put together. That these are legit organizations that are accepting donations that will go to hurricane relief. World Central Kitchen is one of those. There are a number of recipes in this book that I want to try. He's got hummus, he's got baba ganoush, but this one, the shawarma spice roast chicken, looks fascinating to me. Not fascinating, looks yum. He's spatchcocked this chicken. Another book that I have coming later today also deals with spatchcocked chicken and different spices. None of them are the shawarma, so I think it's some Moroccan, Hungarian, and Yemeni spices that this new cookbook that hasn't come here yet does. I could see making this, having it as a meal, and then using it in wraps throughout the week. So, and I love shawarma. I love Mediterranean. I'm hoping that this will get my cooking mojo back. The next cookbook, not one that I bought in this haul, but also related to the hurricane, and also someone I love to support. That's Dolly Parton, y'all. Good Lookin, Cookin, A Year of Meals, with her sister Rachel Parton George. I glanced through this, and I don't know if I will make some of this. I don't know if I'll make any of it. The only thing I don't like about A Year of Meals is I feel if February's got steak and lobster with drawn butter, or can I not make that in October? So that's the only criticism. However, I'm definitely going to look through this again on take a deeper dive, because I just skimmed it. And Dolly Parton, y'all, she announced on Friday that she was donating $1 million from her personal bank account to Hurricane Helene relief efforts. So I wish I could be more like Dolly. I don't have $1 million to give, but I do wish that I do look to her as an example of the kind of person that I want to be. Alright, so next we got 3 Drummonds. I did not think that I was going to get these. Say what you want about her. What I did find that I liked is that she talks about freezing meals, and as a single person, that makes more sense than eating chili for like 8 days straight. I wouldn't keep it that long, but, ways to use staples or reuse them. So the first book that I have is Dinner Time, Comfort Classics, Freezer Foods, 16-Minute Meals, and Other Delicious Ways to Solve Supper. This, I want to make sure this is the right one. I just made... It is the right one. She has a recipe in here for a skillet lasagna that I made for lunch today, and it was delicious. I did have to put some up to freeze because I love all things tomato based, but with these temporary crowns, when I eat anything tomato based, it stains orange, the temp crowns, And even if I brush it right after, it takes time to get all the way off. Speaking of tomato-based sauces, Jose Andres also has a spiced tomato sauce recipe in here that, again, I can't wait to try. I just have to limit my tomato-based things for the near future. Anyway, so I'm excited about this because, I mean, she's mainstream, but there are a lot of recipes that are really accessible and quick or easy. Like the skillet lasagna was super simple, and it came together in no time. Next up I got, also by her, it's because her show was playing on Food Network the other day, The New Frontier, 112 Fantastic Favorites for Everyday Eating. I have not done a deep dive on this one. I just skimmed through it. Usually I do a deep dive. I sit down and look at every recipe and think, is that something I want to eat? How could I make it? How could I use it as leftovers? This next one, Parmesan fish sticks, is not one I'd use for leftovers. I'd scale it down, but I loved this description. My mom was a pretty darn from-scratch home cook, but she wasn't afraid to whip out the fish sticks if she was in need of a quick weeknight meal. And by fish sticks, I mean store-bought, frozen fish sticks. Growing up in a landlocked state, I'm fairly certain they were my first introduction to seafood. Anyway, so she says they taste exactly like the 1974 originals. She uses haddock and cod. I think I would also use one of those. Just, again, scale it down. I don't need 2 pounds of fish sticks. And I don't know how well they would freeze. I might have to look into that. I do love a fish stick from time to time. Now, both my parents have passed. My sister lives far away in another country, and I don't have any family here, so a lot of times I just don't really have any holidays. I take the day off, but I don't do anything special. And I think this year I'm going to change that. I'm going to do it for me. I have not found a recipe in a year of holidays yet. I think the next holiday is Halloween. She's got treats for that. I'm not going to cook myself a bunch of treats for Halloween. I do need to remember to get candy for the kids. But for Thanksgiving, I love how she's got Turkey Day leftovers. I did find something in here. This is a recipe I may try any time of the year. She's got it down for Christmas, and that is fried quail. I know where to get frozen quail. Yeah, looks like probably a better way to cook quail because it's so tiny. Anywho, so maybe for Christmas I'll do fried quail, and then I'll definitely find some side dishes in this book. Again, I haven't really done a deep dive. But speaking of Christmas, the next cookbook I bought because, speaking of Thanksgiving, I bought because I thought some afternoons when I come from work, I'm mentally drained. And I just want to throw something in, get it cooked, and not have to make a big mess or spend a lot of time in the kitchen. I'm hungry, I want to eat now. So I picked up Hot Sheets, sweet and savory sheet pan recipes for every day and celebrations. Now, there's a chili recipe in here. I'm not doing chili in a sheet pan. I am gonna do chili the old-fashioned way on the stovetop. Let it take its time. That's a weekend dish. But there is a recipe for roasted duck with salted maple butter. That's what it looks like. Sorry, I got reflections going on from the blinds. So I thought, what if I, for Thanksgiving, did a roasted duck with salted maple butter? And that would be my Thanksgiving meal. And then the rest of the week, long weekend, I could have leftovers from the duck. I could do it different ways. And this looks gorgeous. It looks delicious. I'm a huge duck fan. I cook duck breast, have cooked duck breast frequently. I have not cooked it in a long time because, again, I have been burnt out trying to get my mojo back. 3 more books to go. I honestly did not plan to get the tried and true cookbook, 150 Quick and Easy Recipes for Busy Families by Alyssa Rivers. I don't know who she is. She's a creator of the Recipe Critic. Okay, that's fine. I had not heard of her. However, there is a recipe for creamy Tuscan garlic chicken. Calls for boneless, skinless chicken breast with spinach and sun-dried tomatoes. And this looks like an easy one-pan-ish weeknight meal. I used to do chicken breast all the time, and I haven't. The main way I would do it was chicken marsala. That was like my go-to recipe, and I'm about chicken marsala it out. So this looks like a good alternative to that. She also has a recipe for brown butter pecan cookies, and that looks absolutely fabulous. I said I wasn't going to cook treats for Halloween, but it is about to be cookie season. So, the next book is one that I probably won't cook anything out of, but I bought it nonetheless because of the stories. That book is Food to Die For, Recipes and Stories from America's Most Legendary Haunted Places by Amy Bruni. The art in here and the setup is gorgeous. Some of the food, though, just looks kind of gray. Yes, gray. Gray is the right word. Anyway, this covers... Let me get to the table of contents. Eerie hotels, horrifying homes, otherworldly watering holes, hair-raising historic landmarks, hellish institutions, ghoulish ghost towns. So, one of the hotels that is mentioned in here, Hotel del Coronado, I actually stayed at years ago. It's in Coronado, California. I just stayed the night there. The recipe there is for a crustless jack and red pepper quiche. I'm not a quiche girl, but I'm interested in reading more about the Hotel del Coronado and what its haunting legend is. This will be a fun read, even if I don't make any of the dishes. For horrifying homes, they have the Lizzie Borden house, and that is a meatloaf, which again did not look like it had any searing on it or something like that. Those two, the Donner Pass. And the recipe for that is something called Lumpy Dicks. We gotta check this out. It's a breakfast porridge with the unfortunate name. Dick is an old-fashioned name for pudding. It's an example of what settlers would have eaten during Western expansion in the 19th century. Adapted from the Donner Party Cookbook, A Guide to Survival on the Hastings Cutoff, which was published in 2003. So this is what a lumpy dick looks like. Anywho, that's going to be fun to read and read about the history of places, and I'm probably not going to make any of that. Let's see though. Finally, this next is a two-hander. I don't think I realized it was as big as it was when I got it, but it has a ton, by a ton I mean a ton, of roast chicken recipes in here. I am a chicken fan. It's easy, and again, you can use it for leftovers, but that is the complete America's Test Kitchen TV show 2001 to 2024, no wonder it's so large, cookbook. It's got every recipe and product rating from the show. Again, I have not done a deep dive on this. It would have taken a long time. It talks about butterflying, roasting, chicken, turkey, steaks. Oh, I've been naming some flank steak recipes. I never know what's across the grain. pork chops. So this is definitely going to be a go-to for me if I can pick it up. Anywho, this was a different book haul. I typically don't talk about my cookbooks or about cooking. This is not a cooking channel. This is a book channel, but cookbooks are books too. Anywho, I would love to hear from you. If you like to cook, if you have had struggles with cooking, if you, like me, have lost your cooking mojo, if you lost it and got it back, please tell me how you did it, because I'm struggling here. Anywho, that is it for me. I'll see you next week with my weekend books, which hopefully gets better than it is going today. Happy reading!